in this video, I'm going to be showing you some of the techniques I've been using on my children's book that I've been working on. This is the most current illustration, and I'm about a quarter to halfway done, somewhere in there. And I've got some trees here to do to render out, and I figured it would be a good good time to show you guys how I do trees. I have a style for trees. This is one of the last drawings I did, so you can kind of see how all the trees have a similar look. It's kind of my unique thing, just my observation on how I perceive trees in my mind. I'm not referencing any trees for this. This is just kind of my technique. And also another thing that you've seen throughout the story is kind of this moss that I did everywhere, and how I did that is kind of another thing I'm going to show you in here. It's real simple. I just figured it would be kind of fun to show you guys some of the exact techniques I use. So in this scene, Elena is going to the forest enchantress's cottage, kind of where she lives in the forest. And so I wanted this kind of cool little cottage scene. And so one thing I wanted to do for this story is I really wanted it to be hand done, and I wanted it to have a lot of textures and kind of, and when I do color it, fun colors, and just be really tangible, I guess is the word I want. I didn't want it to be artificial, and so for some of the techniques, I'll show you the moss technique I use, and it's really simple. So I just do these circle motions, and it kind of looks a little bit silly at first when I do it, but I like the texture that it gives. And even though moss doesn't look like this really, it's just a nice texture. It's not the same thing that is everywhere else on the illustration, and it's kind of a design element. So I'm a graphic designer for a living, and we always went by these kind of design principles, little rules, which we called CRAP, which was an acronym for contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. And those are just simple design element type rules that when you create something, you want to kind of have all those elements in your design, and it makes for good design. So for this, I wanted texture, and that's contrast as well, because see right here, I'll do like a smooth, like on the tree, render, and it contrasts that really, textured moss look that I'm putting right here, and it makes the drawing a little bit more pleasant. Over here you can see just a little bit different of a texture, how I did the leaves. These are just like little black marks like this, and it just gives a different texture. Now when I'm doing the moss, I'm darkening like where I think it rolls under, or where it gets a little bit darker, like on the back side of things. Like if it slopes, let's say this is a slope and it comes down over here, my light source maybe is coming through these trees right here, then I'll just do harder circle motions on this bottom side, like that. And really, maybe the only reason this works is because I've already figured out the drawing, it's already laid out and everything. I just feel like it's a nice little addition to the story, having creative textures like that. So now I'm going to show you kind of how I do trees. Now I've already got the tree drawn out here, and I'm really going to just show you kind of how I render the bark or the surface of the tree. So when I do bark, I kind of do this kind of very spontaneous, organic style. I just kind of move up the tree trunk, just kind of the little scribbles like this, back and forth with kind of the same value, keeping in mind the shape of the tree, that it's round, so, and where my light is kind of coming from over here. And then I'll kind of look at the shapes I've made, like this. And so right here you have a part that I feel like, sticks out. And so on the back side of that, like where the bark kind of has a shadow, I'll just darken a little bit. And it gives the trees a nice kind of texture and depth, I guess. You can see the recesses in the tree. And then also, I'll kind of just add little kind of cracks, always keeping in mind where my light source is so that it makes sense. I feel like, because if I did some dark shadows on this side or like through here or something, it would look flat or just wouldn't look right. But because since the light is hitting here, this piece right here is in shadow and it's darker, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of showing you how I've been doing these, I guess. This technique, if you can call it that, or this style, is just kind of something that I've picked up through the years. And then sometimes I'll look and I'll be like, ooh, this could be like a big old hole like in the tree. So we'll darken some stuff around it, and then I'll shade in right there. And this is how I've done all my trees in the story so far. So they all look very similar. Sometimes I'll reference the shape of the tree, but like I said, I haven't really referenced the bark or anything like that. This is just my style. The book is definitely a lot of the techniques that I use when I'm drawing from my imagination, and also how I've kind of referenced a lot of stuff. So it's definitely pieces of my imagination and then mixed with reference. And I really like the overall effect I've gotten in the book so far, in the illustrations for sure. And a lot of this stuff, like people will ask, I know they'll probably ask you guys if you draw, like, you know, do you see that ahead of time, or is it just something that kind of happens? And especially with the trees, a lot of this, I have no clue how it's gonna look when it's finished. I just draw and see what happens. It's a fun way to draw. I think that's why I probably draw the trees like this, because I enjoy it. I don't know, it's a surprise for me. Sometimes I'll add little textures on them to make them look a little bit more alive. And then also what I've been doing is I've been carrying the moss up the tree, because the tree in this state, it's very smooth and very, I guess, artificial looking. Like you can see on this drawing, this was one of the last ones I did. So what I might do on this drawing is go back through and add some texture to these trees, because see how kind of plain they look on their bark and stuff? I feel like they need a little bit more life, maybe some mushrooms growing on them and stuff like that, like I've done on this page. You can see mushrooms kind of growing on the trees, just to add a little bit more character to the drawings. And I'll look at that stuff. So I haven't colored this one yet. Once I color them, then they're kind of done. I don't want to have to color them again. So I try and assess where I'm at with the drawing when it's all finished, and then do stuff, and then I'll go to the coloring stage. But you can see the same technique in all these trees. And as I get further into the distance, I do less of detail on the trees, just to show that you kind of can't see that, get some atmospheric perspective in there. And I also don't get as dark when you go into the distance, that my shadows are very dark in the foreground, not so much in the background. So I don't know if that helps you guys, or if that explains how I'm doing these at all. You can kind of just watch me, I guess, do this for a second and kind of see this tree kind of come to life. Trees in the foreground also, the style I've been using is I've been doing a little bit darker of an outline on my foreground objects and stuff, just to break them apart from the background, so that you have a definitive place to look, I guess. So, and then another technique I've been doing, and I did it on the castle and stuff, and this is a technique that you learn in grade school. So this isn't super complex or anything, but I just been doing bricks, simple, stupid, childish little bricks on my houses and stuff, and then the rendering, like adding cracks and little holes and stuff like that. but basically I think everybody's learned how to do bricks when they were in grade school and stuff. So here's a drawing you guys haven't seen. This is, obviously you can see all the bricks that I did here. Hopefully this one looks better in color, because this is by far my least favorite drawing. This is kind of after everybody's got stomach aches and the village is kind of, I don't know, gone to crap because they eat too much junk food, I guess. And you guys will learn more about that when I finish the book, but definitely a different look and feel than what's going on in these scenes, which are very organic, and these totally contrast that. So, but anyway, this is just a short little video on the techniques I've been using and to kind of give you guys an update on where I'm at with the book. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I can have some more videos. Hopefully I can get this thing done soon. This has been all the work I've been doing lately, and I want to kind of go on to something else, get back to my daily sketches and stuff like that. But I've had a lot of fun doing it, especially some of these drawings. I can't wait to see it all put together and finished. So, but anyway, again, thanks for watching, and if you are so inclined, subscribe.